Hello everyone, welcome to the United Stand. Welcome to the second game of the season, the first road trip, the first away trip of the season. Heading down to Brentford now, and the one thing you can clearly say about this game today is it's going to be very difficult because it is baking hot. I mean, if you put down a pitch side thermometer, I'm guessing we're going to be pushing close to 40 degrees at most games today. I mean, the most of the country is in 30 plus degree of heat. It is going to be absolutely sweltering. Drinks breaks have been introduced to Premier League games this weekend. That shows you exactly how hot it is. So from that, I say, well, if we can make players play Premier League games in this heat, why can't we play the World Cup in this heat? Anyway, that's another subject. That's another story. I'm not going to get into that into too much detail. This is about United. This is about United v Brentford. I'm not happy that the World Cup is mid-season, by the way. You may have guessed that. But yes, it is what it is. And we move on. We deal with it. United have bigger issues anyway. The World Cup is just a minor little glitch on what is a massive season this season for United, which hasn't started well. Obviously, last week, we got done big time by Brighton. The scoreline flattered us in a way. It looked closer than what it was. We never created anything, and Brighton pretty much were in complete control the whole game. So, looking at that, we have a lot to do. Ten Hag press conference, obviously, he mentioned this. He talked about what he's learned from the Brighton game. He analysed the game. He analysed what went wrong and what we can improve on. Obviously, that's an answer that any manager after a defeat is going to say. But how Ten Hag analyses his first defeat as Manchester United manager is very interesting to the rest of us, because we're looking at what's going to come now. How are we going to get a reaction against Brentford? I mean, this is going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game for everyone going to Brentford. They proved that last season, and what Ten Hag takes from the Brighton game, I think more than anything, should be team selection and how Manchester United are going to set up against Brentford. We know what Brentford's dangers are. We know what they're going to bring, and Ten Hag has got a big job on his hands now in terms of who starts the game against Brentford. A couple of other things I just want to touch on before I go into my team and what I think is going to happen here. Ten Hag also yesterday pretty much binned off any sort of hope United fans had. I mean, there was a poll that went out and 80% of them said yes, they would let Rashford go. Ten Hag has binned that idea yesterday, saying he's a massively important player to the football club. I do believe that was just Rashford's people, and the main reason why Rashford has fallen off a cliff in terms of form is he's been misled, and Rashford's people will keep leading Rashford down that road of, well, I don't know what type of road you want to call it, but it's not a good one. It's not going to end well. There may be a cliff at the edge of it, and they may just go boop over the top of it, but if he keeps listening to his people like he has been doing, then there you go. We're going to get the Marcus Rashford that everyone's seeing now, that everyone is insanely frustrated with. It's not good, and that's happened to a lot of United players. But Ten Hag has been that. Rashford is going to be staying at United. I think everyone knew that this was just going to be a bit of a story. His contract is up. Well, he's got an option to extend it next season in 2023. So maybe it's just muting. Maybe it's just his people putting noises out there to maybe get a better enhanced deal than what he's already got. My God, that's going to send some United fans over the edge. If he gets more than 200 grand a week, he doesn't really deserve it. Let's say it that way. And I think a lot of United fans are looking at it that way, because the proof is in the pudding. And the pudding at the moment is crap. It's disgusting because we're not getting anything on the pitch. That's what I would say. Is Marcus Rashford going to play against Brentford today? That is one of the questions, and one that I want to get your guys' opinions on. Whether you think Ten Hag, after analysing that Brighton game, and we all seen where the issues were, Rashford was one of them. If Rashford starts today, are we going to see someone else come in? That is what is interesting. Ten Hag also pretty much, well, he numbed the whole transfer situation. He says communication is very good. What that means, I do not know. I've already made my opinion clear on transfers. I don't want to get into that in this video. I just think it's pathetic the way the football club is handling itself, and how we're in this situation already 2 weeks into the season, and we've not improved our first team. We haven't yet. We're still integrating Martinez in. That is, I would say, a slight improvement, but we all know the areas that need improving. We're not getting it, and that's down to the football club not backing Ten Hag. So he's saying the things that he's got to say, and it does look like there is a sort of yes man sort of feel about it at the moment when it comes to transfers and how Ten Hag is answering questions regarding them. And that, for me, is a bit of a concern. We'll see how it pans out. Ten Hag's main work is going to be pretty much what he does on that training ground and how he sets this team up. That's the type of man he is. I just think, like a lot of people, he wants this transfer window done and dusted. It's down to the club to give him the tools. And at the moment, the tools he's got are blunt. They're not working right. A good tradesman never blames his tools. I'm going to make an exception to the rule on this when it comes to Ten Hag and this Manchester United team on that one. We can safely say that the players that we've got in this squad aren't good enough to play the way Ten Hag wants yet. And yet is the big word in all of that. Can he change anyone in this squad? Can he make what has not happened in over 5 years, in my opinion, happen? And that's a player at Manchester United improve. We have gone downhill. Every single player at this football club over the last 5 years, you could say before that as well, but I'm going to round it at 5 years. Every single player in this football team has gone worse, has regressed incredibly. Not one player has got better, in my opinion, at Manchester United. It hasn't. Otherwise, we won't be seeing the amount of managers that we've seen, because that means everyone is failing ultimately. The players fail, the manager takes the stick. How many managers have we had? Jesus, count them up. That says everything you need to know. He's killed off the Ronaldo story as well. He's not really said Ronaldo's future is any clearer. All he has said, he's now had 2 half games. He's trained all week. He's had a good training week, which for me, which leads us into the team selection right now, says Ronaldo will start today. I think that Ronaldo should be starting. I think we need that spearhead. We need that experience up there. And we need someone who has got a bit of strength, a bit of quality in holding the ball up as such. And Ronaldo, above anyone else in our forward line, probably has that. I wouldn't trust anyone else in that middle. Lindelof and Martial still injured, Ten Hag said, so we're not going to see Martial. Maybe we'll see him, or maybe they will train. We've not got too much information on that yet. We're not clear on when Lindelof and Martial are going to be back in training, hopefully for Liverpool, so we can actually see the system that was put in place in the summer in pre-season when it was working so well with Martial. We don't know. We do not know if that is going to actually happen with Ronaldo playing. Does Martial walk right back into the team? Another issue for Ten Hag to deal with when it comes. But looking at Brentford, Ronaldo, I think, should start in this team. Do we trust Rashford to come not straight in, or keep his place, or does Alanga come in? Going to be very interesting. Where am I going with this one? I mean, sooner or later, Ten Hag is going to know that these players aren't going to get better. How long does he trust them? My thinking is Rashford is going to start today. Sancho is going to start, and Ronaldo's going to be in between them. I don't think he's going to bring Alanga in. I think he's going to trust in Rashford. What he said in the press conference, I believe Rashford will play. And like a lot of United fans, I don't think Rashford deserves to play. Alanga hasn't pulled up any trees or filled me with any confidence whatsoever. And I'm not one man just to stick another man in, because the guy that was in that place originally, being Rashford, has been performing bad. Do I think Alanga can do a better job than Rashford right now? Probably not, honestly. I'm answering that question honestly, not. Rashford's quality on the ball isn't great. His work rate has gone up. So at the moment, Alanga, I would say quality on the ball is nowhere near what we need. And he's on a par with Rashford, to be honest. So either one, I'll be like, yeah, okay, I can see that. I know why. We'll see what Ten Hag does with that. Bruno Fernandez will start. I know he will. There'll be a lot of people calling for Bruno Fernandez to take some time out now as well. I know his work rate is what Ten Hag needs, and hopefully that quality comes back to Bruno. I think he will start as well. In terms of the rest of the midfield, that's where the questions are going to lie. By the way, I do think it will be the same back four. I don't agree that Maguire should be playing. I think it should be Varane, but I know that the captain is going to play. Will we see Luke Shaw start? Yeah. I mean, you guys seen the video I had with Ricky. Ricky thought Luke Shaw wasn't as bad as what people were saying. I did think he was absolutely atrocious, to be honest. Did not rate him at all. Luke Shaw, do we expect him to get better? Yes. Fitness, when it's up, he is a very good fullback. Malacia, is this a game to bring him in? Probably not. That's why I'm thinking Shaw, Martinez, Maguire and Dalot will be our team going forward. And the emphasis, I think, will be on them fullbacks in this, because we do have a target man now in this game in Ronaldo. Hopefully if Ronaldo plays, that is. So yeah, I believe that's going to be it. The midfield is where it's going to be key. I do think that he's going to drop one of the McFred combo. I think it will be Fred that drops. I think Eriksen will come in, and I think McTominay and Eriksen will be the two. I do believe that Eriksen probably, it's going to be difficult how he works it, because I can't trust McTominay going forward. His quality of pass isn't good enough, nowhere near good enough at the moment. Eriksen's got that, but then you trust him, McTominay, to get the ball off the back foot, which I don't trust him with either. Neither do I with Fred in that position. So this is where it's difficult. Do them two interchanges 8 and 6 through the game like it has done in pre-season. He does play with the 5/6 man front and one holding player. Who do I trust more, Eriksen or McTominay? Don't be surprised, by the way, if McFred start again. The start of everything that I'm saying here, it could easily happen. McFred could start again. But looking at it, the way he said it and the way he talked in his press conference, post-press conference after the Brighton game, when we got control of the game when Eriksen was deeper, maybe Eriksen comes in. Be a bit of a sort of love story sort of thing with Eriksen coming back to Brentford, his first team since obviously the horrific heart attack that he had on the pitch in the Euros. It could be a bit of a love story sort of scenario going on at Brentford in this game if Eriksen starts it, but that's just how I believe it's going to be. As for Brentford, we know what they're bringing. I think they've done very well in the summer. They snuck in some decent transfers. I think Ben Mee, that signing was very, very good. An accomplished Premier League defender, slotting in nicely at centre-back for them now. That was very astute business, in my opinion. Ben Mee is a good defender, and like I said, the experience he brings to that Brentford team now, second season in. Pressure's on. We know they've got them battling qualities as well. Coming from 2-0 behind against Leicester last week, that's that sort of never say die that I want United to have. Just show me that, like, we're not giving up. We're going to fight till the last minute. And that's what Brentford did. They could have easily collapsed against Leicester and thought, no, that's it. We're unlucky. But no, they don't think like that. They don't think like that, and that's the quality that this Brentford team have got and what Robert Frank has brought into this team. You've obviously got the issue, not an issue, it's an issue for us. Sorry, there's a moth just flying around. Someone's opened the wallet somewhere. It's not mine, promise you. You've got the issue with Ivan Toney and our back line. Ricky made a point in the video yesterday, that's why he thinks McTominay is going to stay in the team, just for that physical height, especially in the defensive third. Tony's going to bring a threat to us within that. So that is the big one to watch out for, obviously, the obvious one, Ivan Toney and what he does. He did cause us problems in both games last season, especially here where we're going today. So for me, Toney, yes, I like Rico Henry, left back for Brentford. I think he's a brilliant, and I think sooner or later we'll get snapped up by one of the big teams. I think he's a great fullback, a modern day sort of fullback, good assist as well last weekend in the Leicester game. Does bring a lot of threat. And why our fullbacks are going to have to be on it. That's Dalot's side. And Dalot's defensive qualities are going to have to be questioned. Are they going to be brought into question in this game? Especially with the likes of Rico Henry bombing down that side. We've got to stop that delivery. We've got to stop that feeding into Ivan Toney. And a big part of that is Rico Henry and what he brings and the quality of delivery that he has. So it's a big day for Dalot today as well on that. So I do believe that that is a key area. Obviously, the love story, which was Josh Da Silva. Obviously, they would have hoped to have had him last season, but he's been out for a year. I think it was a hip injury. And you heard Frank talking about that after the game at Leicester. He got a little bit emotional about it because he's just worked his way back and he's got his just rewards. He got his goal against Leicester last week. So they've got more options there now. Used to it, a bit of experience now in the Brentford team. Having had their first season in the Premier League, they do offer a threat and have got an excellent home record. They caused problems for all of the top 6 sides away from home last season. Funnily enough, I think we were one of the teams that actually got points there because everyone struggled. Everyone struggled there last season. And I do believe it's going to be the same. They're going to make it that fortress and they're going to have a great atmosphere within the stadium. And I think it's going to be tough for every team going there. So this is key. We're waiting for a reaction from United and how Ten Hag sets things up after the poor performance against Brighton. But we can't take this for granted as like this is the bounce back game. We need these points before Liverpool next week because we could easily just fall into the trap that we're just thinking we can turn up here and win. We can't. We have to work as hard, if not more, than Brentford, and it's going to be extra difficult with the heat and everything that's going on. Energy levels are key. Substitutions are massive. Thomas Frank used his full substitution allocation. I think he's one of the managers that used all 5 substitutes last week against Leicester. So don't be afraid. He's not going to be afraid to change things up when needed. And United's concentration levels are going to have to be on it. 1 goal I don't think is going to be enough for us. If we're going to take anything from the game, we're going to need 2 or 3 like we did last season. I can't see us keeping a clean sheet. I may be wrong. We may come out a little bit more defensive in this game, but knowing Ten Hag and how he plays, I think it could be an entertaining game. The weather will kill it a bit. The energy levels will be zapped. And I just don't think it's going to be that type of game that it could be because of the weather. Score predictions for me, I do believe that Manchester United could get a win here. I've said don't think we're going to get a clean sheet. I was bordering on 2-0 thinking in this one, but then I can't see the clean sheet and I know what threat Brentford have got. I'm going to go for the draw. I think it's going to be a 2-2. I think we're going to see goals in this game. Lacks of concentration. I think it is going to be one of them difficult watches for a United fan. I think for the neutral, it could be interesting and one of the better games this weekend. But for us, I think it's going to be tough. We're going to have to battle. We're going to have to stick to it. And we're going to have to believe that even if we go behind, which is a distinct possibility in this game, we can pull it back. Guys, that pretty much sums up my road trip. It's going to be hot. It's going to be very hot. I think I'm going to be sweating. I will see you after the game. Me and Ricky will be on. Hopefully we can get some others on as well, give their opinions, and hopefully I'm talking about Manchester United getting 3 points. I think we've got a draw in this one. I think that's where we're going. Baby steps. It's horrible to think, but we have to take this as a long-term project, and I don't think we're quite there yet. I'm hoping the team surprise me. I just want to see a little bit more fight and battle and just stay in the game and be combative more than anything. Guys, let me know what you think. Drop your comments in below. This is the first road trip of the season, it's an away game. And hopefully, like I said, we can turn the corner from last week. But that's it for now. Cheers for watching, everybody. Like, share, subscribe to the United Stand as always, and I will see you after the game.